All right, people, it's June 1st. The Ethereum ETF is set to launch this month or at the end of this month, maybe beginning of next month. So we got to talk about Ethereum price action. Now, there is a lot of fear right now that Ethereum will suffer a sudden dip right after the ETF launch, much like Bitcoin did. However, there are several mitigating factors. One of them is there's not nearly as much Ethereum on exchanges as Bitcoin. And right now, the demand is pretty high. So that's one mitigating factor because I think there will be a lot of demand and not so much supply. And yes, the grayscale dump might give more supply, but it won't be quite as bad as Bitcoin, as right now demand outpaces supply, especially when these ETFs start trading. And I'm not really sure, but I do believe it was the Genesis cell that actually really caused, well, the FTX cell in the beginning that really caused the prices to dump, and then Genesis afterwards. And I think both those issues have already been resolved, so I don't expect that amount of Ethereum to dump, and that accounts for about half the dump. So for that reason, I also don't think it's going to be nearly as bad. Now, that aside, what do I expect Ethereum price to rise to? There have been several analysts online that say $7,000 for Ethereum within the next 3 months. I am not as optimistic, as Bitcoin only reached $73,000 after the ETF launch. And that was from the initial point of $46,000 pre-launch. Obviously, that's not quite twice the price, because twice the price would be $92,000. From 46 to 73, we increased about $26,000, or roughly maybe 60% or so. So I would kind of expect a 60% increase from Ethereum as well in the next 3 months, at least at its peak, because I'm just doing relative price. They're saying that roughly 1/4 of the money that flowed into Bitcoin will flow into Ethereum, which makes much sense because Bitcoin is a lot more popular than Ethereum. It's more well known, but Ethereum is fairly well known as well. So I do expect about 25% of the money that flowed into Bitcoin to flow into Ethereum, and I do actually believe it'll be about like the same percentage in terms of price that gets risen. So what I'm seeing right now is, because Ethereum is about 3,700 right now, it should rise about 2,000 points, or about $5,700. Maybe possibly $6,000 because of the FOMO, but I do believe it'll fall short of the $7,000 mark in the next 3 months. Of course, I definitely believe it will get past $7,000 at the top of the bull run, but within the next 3 months, I would think like 5,700, 5,800. There might be a ceiling at around $6,000, so you might want to have a sell order at $6,000 if you are trading back and forth, because I do believe realistically, like, the bull run probably won't come until like maybe like October, November of this year, as more things come in. Obviously, pending elections and how the regulations go. I do think, like, regardless of who wins the election, the regulations for crypto will get more and more friendly. It's just that the speed that they get more and more friendly will differ because of like whichever administration is in charge. Because so many of the Democrats have actually voted with the Republicans on stuff like Fit 21, and also even the repeal of SAB 121. And even when the election's over, you still got midterms in 2 years, and like, you know, other special elections down the line. So they don't want to lose the narrative. So like I said before, I think like Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren's allies are going to get smaller and smaller as time goes on, as more politicians themselves get into crypto. So I do see a more and more friendly environment for cryptocurrency as time goes on. And I think that will be very, very bullish for crypto as well. So I'm not really that afraid on the regulation side. So my prediction for Ethereum is 5,700. Some analysts are predicting 7K within the next 3 months. My prediction for Ethereum overall at the top of the bull run is like 12, 13,000 now, maybe 15,000 if we're really, really optimistic. I do think the ETF has the potential to actually push it that high. The other news is that CZ, our favorite Changpeng Zhao, has started his prison term at a low security federal penitentiary. There was a picture, but that looked more like a nightclub than a prison, so I don't think that's the prison. It was him hanging out with some like I think, like Saudi friends, but that was from quite a while ago. And he has full support of the crypto industry. Yes, CZ is not seen as a criminal. He is still seen as kind of a hero in crypto. He stepped down as Binance CEO, and Binance has survived through this mess. Plus the fact that Binance has not actually stolen customers' money makes Binance shows Binance in a positive light, especially compared to things like FTX. So if the SEC and the DOJ were trying to make CZ look like a villain, they have not succeeded. I think they've actually kind of like built up the fandom and fan club that CZ is actually like has surrounded himself with. So that was a big fail for the DOJ if that was their purpose. It obviously, like, it's only a 4-month sentence. So he should be out by, May. He should be out by end of September. He misses the summer, which is like not cool, but with his money, he can probably go to summer. He can probably enjoy summer elsewhere in the world. And overall, a fairly light sentence for CZ. He still has to pay something like $50 million, but that's like chump change to him. So I think CZ is going to fare okay. And despite the fact that he's not really supposed to be involved in Binance matters, realistically, his wife still runs Binance, so he will be involved. So I do think Binance will do very, very well. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.